What's up everyone? Welcome back to Golf Simulator Videos. We are back today with the Square Golf Launch Monitor, and this is an exciting video because I know so many people have been emailing and commenting asking when is the new firmware update coming. Now if you guys have seen my first look video, we did all kinds of stuff. I've shown the chipping and putting and different shot shaping, and we did a driver review and noticed a little bit of a concern. There were a couple shots, some of them read really well, but some of them had zero spin axis or side spin of the ball. Now they've identified a concern, pushed out a firmware update all within a week, which was really cool to see that. And we're here to show you the new testing and results first person. So I'm going to do several things. I first want to talk about a couple things I think are very important for everyone to understand. I had several people say, well, why aren't you using the club stickers? I noticed with club stickers, I had some better results. Well, the reason is because the club sticker, if you use a no marking ball, it will actually do a calculation for the spin. All right. Now, if it misses the spin and you have a club sticker on, it's going to do the same thing. So I'd rather not use a club sticker and show you the raw results of what it's getting, measuring the golf ball. So that is a reason for that. Want to make sure everybody understands that. The other thing I had a lot of conversation with people is that the ball data from the unit, all right, or whatever unit you might be using, ends up getting sent to software. Whether it's the Square native software, GSPRO, or another software, they all have their own algorithm. They calculate the carry, all right, which is absolutely fine. There's all kinds of algorithms that are very, very good at using that data and coming up with a very accurate carry distance, as well as, total distance they use based on, how hard the ground is and everything. And then there's also an algorithm for ball flight. So some software might have a little more emphasis than others as far as curvature of the golf ball goes. I think GSPRO is a very good representation of both carry and the flight of the ball. It actually does have an ability to adjust like less curvature on the ball, but we're not going to do that. We're not boosting the carry or actually turning down the curvature or anything like that. We're showing you how it is, and I think that by using the raw ball data from this along with GSPRO, you guys are going to see a good representation of what we should expect. And keep in mind, and this is a good information for you as well. So this is the ball that I said comes with the unit, designed in Korea, made in China golf ball. So obviously it's not going to have quite comparison to Pro V1. I actually had a PGA professional in here yesterday, and he knows his ball speeds and everything. It's like crazy. Always hits the ball like almost perfect every time. And he's like, well, I know this is a 125-mile-per-hour club. And so he starts hitting a few, and it was like 121-ish or so. And we threw down a Pro V, 124, 125. And so, yes, there's going to be little variances as far as spin and speed of this ball goes, but overall, the conversation we were having, he's like, I can't believe, and this is after the GSV discount code. I always pin it to the top of the comments and put it in the description. If you guys are looking to buy the unit, you can use that code and get this thing for, closer to $600. And we were having the discussion. He's like, man, for your average golfer to have like a good representation of their shot and their carry and everything, I mean, how valuable is that to someone? And it's so easy to use. So it was a really good conversation to have with him. Maybe I'll even have him in a video, or I'll take the unit to his studio and we'll do some testing and really kind of dive into it, and he can give you an honest opinion of, if you're the average golfer looking for something on a budget, is this for you? And what you should be looking at and everything. So I thought that was really cool. But let's go ahead, let's hit some shots. First thing we want to do is just hit a couple normal shots. Yeah, they might have a little curve to them because I can't stripe one right down the middle every time, but I'm pretty good at hitting some pretty straight shots sometimes. So let's just hit some normal straight shots. I mean, that was pretty darn good for me. Yeah, I could have closed the face just a tiny bit more, but I actually hit it just a tad behind the ball, and you see it only carried 150. And the spin was a little bit lower. And, when you hit just a tad behind the ball, generally it opens the face up a little bit. So not a bad representation there at all. One more just kind of normal shot for you guys. Oh yeah, that was real good. I mean, look how low the side spin was on that. I read the side spin, but that was really good. A little better carry distance on that, better spin because I hit lower on the face. I got a little more, just crisper, a little more spin on that. We'll try to hit one more. Generally, I can get this club about 155 if it's a balance of, my full swing and clipping it right. Swung harder at that, 153, better spin. I mean, like that's so ideal. Those are a couple good shots. A couple of really good shots. So straight shots, that's what I would expect. Now, let's start shaping this 8-iron and see what we can get out of it. So I'm gonna do a push draw to start off. See if I can get it back to or across the target line. Start to the right. It was heavy, but what I was trying to accomplish. Generally, I would get that ball to carry even further. And you know, I like using the unit raw as it sits. Every once in a while, if the ball touches it or anything, I just want to make sure it's aligned to my target, but pretty simple to do that. So, if you notice that noise is going off, you have a green indicator here, the noise on the connector tool, but it will not turn the launch monitor ready indicator on because that connectivity is not set up with GSPRO. Hopefully it comes. I think it's only a couple right now, like Unicore. All right, another out to the right, coming back to the left. Maybe not quite as dramatic. Nice, smooth, high draw. I like it. I like it. That's good spin out of this golf ball, honestly, compared to what I would spin a Pro V on a nice clipped ball like that. Not quite getting, I would have that thing carrying a little bit more with a Pro V. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's really close, 154 carry in the game. So, and that the launch monitor's raw was 151. So it's kind of cool to see its carry distance, you know, versus raw. I think I have it set at my altitude, which is like 800 here. So that might be why you see that little difference as well. So, all right, we got to hit some cuts for you guys. So trying, this is a much more difficult shot for me. Sometimes I can execute really well. Sometimes it ends up being a, you know, double cross yank or whatever it may be, but let's see if we can get some started left, going right. Come on back. Just not quite enough. I didn't hold it off enough. Wasn't a bad shot. Started to the left and had just a tiny bit of right curvature, but not quite what I'd like to see. That was only 31. That's gonna come back to the right. It was a little lower launching ball, but still, because it was just a little thinner. But what do we got for, ooh, yeah, it was lower launching, but so something was off on that. Backspin, horizontal launch angle, vertical launch angle was not that far off. Ball speed was just off. So it didn't like the ball speed on that one for some reason. That's probably one we need to report to him, because that was actually what I was trying to do. The ball started left, came back right. I did notice it was slowing down fast, and it has to do with ball speed. So 85 ball speed. Let's hit one more and see what the ball speed is. Like that was well executed. A little left of the target, coming right. Yeah, look at the ball speed. That's my normal ball speed on an 8-iron. Notice that started just a tad left, worked its way to the right. That's perfect. We'll try to start one even further left and get it working back right. This is the hardest shot for me to do, but let's see if we can do it. It's not bad. Not bad. 634 side spin. I mean, I got it started left the target, ended up right of the target. I'd take that every time. So, I mean, potentially, I'd have to say, I mean, that's one little miss for sure on that speed. I don't know why. I'm not sure, but I mean, it's not life-threatening by any means. Like I said, $160, or not 160, $600 launch monitor. I mean, even at that, the amount of shots that I've hit so far, because I tested this before the video, I always like kind of having a good understanding. I hit a bunch of shots, and I was like, okay, you know, the firmware took, we're seeing differences here. I didn't get a miss yet, so interesting to see that one. So we'll report that to him. I always report on anything that I encounter. So let's go ahead and hit some drives. I don't know if I'm gonna be really breaking 160 today the way I feel, but we'll see. We'll try to swing hard at a few. So that was only 12 side spin, and it was a little heely. So it read the side spin, but I'd be maybe a little doubtful of the 12 side spin on that shot, but I've been getting curve on almost every single one. So let's hit another one. That was 155 ball speed. It was a little miss. It was like a low Healy. That was only 23, and I swung a lot harder, got better contact. That was like a little higher on the face, not a toe ball, but towards the toe. And it was still a little more of a push, so I'm not seeing zero, but I'm seeing some limited spin right now. So might still need them to identify a little more of side spin on driver. That was one of my knuckle dead balls. You can see, even though it was 160 ball speed, between the launch angle and the spin, it kind of falls out of the air. That was just a miss. Backspin was 1,000. That was a miss on my part, so let's get this going again. Oh yeah, that was well hit there. Well hit, little draw. That was good for me. I mean, the backspin, a lot of people will say is low because it was a little higher on the face, but I'll take that knuckleball all day. It goes far. If it had a little more spin to it, yeah, I'd get more carry out of it most likely, but I'm launching it high enough that even with the spin, you can see, I mean, I'm getting good carry. That was 161. Yeah, I'm glad I'm at least getting above 160 today. So close that face down a little bit. It was lower on the face too, and I got more spin out of it being lower on the face, so good to see some more representation of curvature. I mean, I hit some serious knuckleballs, and I wonder if, you know, I'm not your average spinner of a driver. I mean, I'm below 2,000 on most of my shots. Look at whatever launch monitor I'm playing on right now. At least in the past year and a half, it's just I hit so far up on the ball with a low spinning driver and shaft that you know, that's kind of the name of the game. I don't mind around 2,000. I'm all good with it. Below 15, yeah, it's not ideal, that's for sure. All right, I'm gonna set up a little more of a fade. Try to get the club exiting a little bit to the left. Doesn't mean it's gonna fade. I'm just gonna try to, I'm so inside out a lot. It can sometimes shallow up my swing a little bit too. Well, that was still high on the face, still super low spin. Let's see if we can correct that a little bit. What kind of side spin? Not a ton of side spin on that. How about that? That was a much better swing on my part. Working the club a little more of a path that's controllable. See the spin? When I'm not hitting higher on the face, I can get it above 2,000. I'm still seeing awfully low side spin numbers versus what I would normally expect on my driver. So I love that it's not zeroing and I'm getting some curvature. But I promise you I'm not that straight of a driver all the time. Got to be fully transparent with you guys there. I love the ball speed is exactly what I would expect. Launch angle is what I would expect. That ball, you can see where it hit on the screen, right at my target, takes off right. It's just like we were talking about with the PGA Professional. I mean, it's going to represent your golf shot quite well, even the way it sits today. And they're obviously working on updates as well. I do think that they might have to see if these higher ball speed numbers, you got to understand, your average golfer's ball speed with driver, I don't even know if it's past 150. I'm not a high speed hitter of the ball by any means. I can get up to like 170 when I'm really swinging at it, but I think plus 160, it's probably more challenging for the unit, I would assume. Maybe I try to swing at one a little softer. It's not super easy for me to do that, but let's try it. 154. But see, the side spin is still just so low. That was actually a pretty good swing. It had a lower launch to it, but at least we got a lower ball speed to see what, you know, the result is with a lower ball speed. And that's some low side spin. So we hit like one more that's kind of like a normal drive. Well, that was super high on the face. Look at that. I'm glad it read that. So that was like way high on the face. And if you would see that ball in real life, one, I liked that it had side spin. It's like a wounded duck. It just goes, and I've hit that. You can look at all my high-end launch monitor videos. That's totally capable to hit a ball super high on the face, super high angle of attack, and that's the result you get. So I'll try to hit one more normal one as I'm wearing myself out here. Things could be getting worse. That was a good swing there. A little toey, got me going left, but that's good. I mean, that's what I want to see. So if I hit a little toe on the ball, it better have some left side spin on it. So that's a good result. I mean, I like that. Now notice the ball kind of tapped that just a tiny bit. I always want to make sure it's square. I don't know if I can purposely hit one off the heel. I can try. Probably be a huge miss or something. Let's see if I can just kind of get a little closer to the ball and purposely hit it heely now and see what happens. So that was kind of a heel scraper. And notice it's got right side spin on it. Not a ton, but it's got right side spin. So I think that's pretty in-depth, guys, without me hurting my back or completely being out of breath. Interested in what you think. I definitely want to challenge them to look at my shots, and maybe I can share data with them, whatever I can do, and see if they can depict the side spin number on my balls. And is it something to do with the ball speed or whatever? Because I feel like I'm just getting some forgiveness. When I have a big toey miss like you saw, it's getting more spin on it, but I think it should have even more spin than that. It's good that I'm seeing the shape. So obviously they've narrowed something down. I mean, we just hit how many drives and irons, and not one was a zero spin. Not using a club sticker, so we know it's not calculating. So it's really good to see where we're going with it, and I'm very interested to see where it will go, sharing some of this information with them. So interested to see what you guys think. As always, like I said, I appreciate you guys watching. If you're looking to buy the Square Golf Launch Monitor, I got that link and discount code pinned to the top of the comments and put in the description. Appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned. There'll be a lot more coming soon.